Hey Bag Lady, I'm so excited that you're here with me today. Today I'm going to be talking about the Steamfast mini iron. I'll be showing the Woolly Felted Wonders wool ironing mat. I'll be talking about what I've been working on this past week, so the Renegade Bag video, my new woven Easter basket, new fabrics that I've added to my stash from cotton and steel, new cork fabrics in the shop. I'll be showing you some vintage sewing books and how I clean my sewing machine with pipe cleaners, and I also have a great giveaway at the end for you. I'm Sara Lawson of Sew Sweetness. Thanks so much for joining me for Sewcial Sunday, my weekly sewing chat. Alright, so I'm really pumped up for the chat tonight. Thanks so much everybody who's joining me. I saw a lot of people jump in a couple minutes before the chat. So I saw Ronnie jump in, Rebecca, Pamela, so thanks so much for joining me, all the bag ladies out there. So I'm really excited about the chat tonight. I have a lot of cool things to show you. Just a reminder, everything that I talk about I link to in the description, so if you're interested in finding out more about any of the notions, fabrics, or projects that I'm showing you, just check that link in the description and it'll take you to a web page where you can find out more details about that item. So Hey Nancy, I see everybody else jumping in on the chat. Thanks so much for posting. And I also wanted to let you know, if you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments, either on Facebook or YouTube. I do like to answer questions live sometime during the chat, so make sure if you have a question, let me know in the comments, and hopefully I can get to your question a little bit later on. So kicking off Sewcial Sunday, my favorite part as usual is the notions chat. So just a friendly reminder, just about everything that I talk about during Sewcial Sunday are things that I've purchased myself. So these are not things that people are paying me to talk about. These are just cool things that I found that I want to share with you. So first off, I wanted to talk about this Steamfast mini iron. I've had this iron for about 2 or 3 years, and as you can see, it's really small. So next to my hand, it's about the size of my hand. I like having this little iron next to my sewing machine because it's really handy. I know a lot of bag ladies are also quilters, but it's really handy having a small iron next to my machine, so I don't have to keep getting up and down a million times to go over to my actual ironing board. But I can just use the Steamfast iron and set it up right next to the sewing machine, so as I add fabrics to my quilt block, I can just either press the seam open or press the seam to the side and then continue on with adding the next fabric to the block. So this is really handy. Also would be great to take with you in a suitcase if you're traveling somewhere where there's not an iron handy. But I use this in combination with an ironing mat. So I've had a lot of questions about this gray mat that I use for my sewing tutorial videos and also during Sewcial Sunday. So this is a wool mat by Woolly Felted Wonders. As you can see, it's about 3/4 of an inch thick, and it's great for ironing on. I've also used the Steady Betty mat in the past, but I like this mat from Woolly Felted Wonders, and it comes in about 3 different sizes. So the size that I have is 17.5 inches squared. There's also an 8.5 inch mat, and there's a bigger mat that I haven't gotten yet, but I have my eye on. It's 17.5 inches by 24 inches. So it's a great mat. As you saw, it's a flexible mat. The Steady Betty that I have is a wood board with foam covering both sides, but I really love both, and I like the lightness of this Woolly Felted Wonders mat. So if you're interested in finding out more about either the iron or the mat, just check the links in the description and it'll take you to where you can either purchase it or just read more up on either of those products. So what I've been working on the past week, we've been busy filming videos for our next 4-pack video bundle. That's coming out on February 28th, but I have a new pattern in the bundle. That's the Renegade Bag. So I was working on the video for that. We're almost done with the video, but I made this one for my daughter. She loves horses and pink and purple, so I thought she would love this one. I made this one in all quilting cotton, and here's the original bag that I made using canvas and cork fabric. But I always like making at least one version of the bag in just all quilting cotton, just so people don't think that they have to use cork or leathers in the bag. The quilting fabrics work great just as well, and there's lots of prints available. So that'll be coming out February 28th as part of the bundle, and we'll also be selling the patterns and videos separately. So if you just want one pattern, not the whole bundle, you can get that. All right. If you missed my Ask Sara episode this past Tuesday, we had a fun free video for this woven Easter basket. If you missed it, the link's in the description, but I made this basket using fabric weaving, using the wefty needle, and it's a really fun process. The full video to make the basket is about 50 minutes long. I spent probably 1 hour doing the weaving on the second basket. This is the second one that I made, and my daughter helped me with the weaving for the first one, but it's a fun little project for Easter. You could certainly make the basket with just a solid fabric instead of the weaving, and it would be a quicker project to put together, but either way, something fun for Easter coming up soon. One more thing that I wanted to tell you about is we have a few tickets left for my Sew Sweetness retreat in June. That's June 21st through the 24th here in Chicago. If you're interested in finding out more, again, link in the description, but it's a Thursday evening through a Sunday afternoon. We have 2 great classes for you, lots of free sewing time in the evening, lots of ladies, bag ladies staying up late during the retreat. So we had a lot of fun with our 2 retreats last year, and if you're interested in possibly joining us, just check the link in the description to find out more information about that. So I've been asking lately in the comments, and let me know if you are one of us, but if you're a bag lady, be proud about it and let me know in the comments. Say, I'm a bag lady. I've been getting a lot of people lately who are either new bag ladies or wannabe bag ladies, and it's so fun because when I get an email lately with a question or a comment, people often open the email with, hey Sara, I'm a fellow bag lady, which makes me feel really good. Bag ladies are not only making bags, but smaller accessories like pouches, so we always want to share the bag making love. So let me know in the comments if you're a bag lady as well. All right, so some new fabric that I added to my stash. I went out with my friend Tamara yesterday. We had lunch and went to a local quilt shop, and I picked up some new fabrics, and I just wanted to share with you what I picked up. So this first one right here is by Moda Fabrics, and it's part of their grunge line. So they have grunge with a solid background and sort of a texture. This is the grunge with the dots, and I really love this one, and I think I'm going to make it into a bag with maybe black or white leather straps, but I'm a big fan of solids, and the grunge to me reads sort of as a solid, so I was excited to pick this one up. I also got this fabric by Amy Butler. This is from her Soulmates fabric line, and I sort of liked this. This isn't metallic, but I sort of like this neutral color, this brown over here. I thought it would go well with either a gold cork or a gold leather, so probably going to pair that with either one of those. And the rest that I got are by Cotton and Steel. So these are just various fabrics by Cotton and Steel. They're not brand new, but I just wanted to add them to my stash, and I love this one with the bird. The bird has this little metallic crown on it. But the reason that I picked all these neutral looking fabrics up besides the strawberries is that I wanted to pair them with either a bright cork or leather, maybe purple or turquoise. I thought that would look really good with the black and the whites. And the strawberries I thought would look really cool with for a summer bag. But these are all quilting cottons, and I just like for these two, I just like the really big geometric print. So anyway, just some various fabrics that I've added to my stash. We've also added some new cork fabrics to the shop online, and I wanted to show you a couple of those as well. So the first one is Alligator Blue. So this is a natural cork background with sort of a raised design. Let me hold it up this way so you can see it as well. So it's got a printing of color on top of it, and this is sort of a metallic bluish gray. So again, this is the alligator in blue. I thought this was a really nice alternative to an actual leather alligator purse. It would look great in a small clutch or a pouch. And we have 2 more natural cork fabrics in stock with metallic. So this is a natural cork background with metallic blue. And then my favorite is the natural with the metallic rainbow. And yeah, as I lift the fabric up, you can probably see the metallic look to it. So we've been selling a lot of these in the last few days, the natural cork with rainbow. But anyway, just some new corks that we've added. I'm always looking for new cork colors, interesting things to add to the stash. So we've got over 80 different cork colors right now, and it's always growing whenever they come out with a new cork fabric, like those metallic rainbows. That was really nice. Speaking of going to the quilt shop, which is what I did yesterday, my friend Tamara, we met for lunch. We went to Olive Garden and we went to a local quilt shop called Quilter's Destination. It's in the Chicago suburbs. And Quilter's Destination, if you ever come to Chicago, you must go to that shop. It's a really big shop. The staff is wonderful, always willing to help match color choices for bags. Like if you need your main fabric matched to a lining fabric, they're super helpful there. Lots of amazing inspiration because they have a lot of quilt samples and other things made up in the fabric that they sell. So they have all these quilts on the wall, lots of classes going on there, so it's a great time. But my point of going out yesterday was that it's really important to take time out for yourself. So besides going to the quilt shop, my husband and I had dinner alone without the kids yesterday because they went to a Chinese New Year party. So it's really important. I know we're all busy every week, work and school and other things, but taking time out for yourself is really important. And I know for me especially it's really hard because sewing is my hobby, but it's also what I do for work. And now that my husband works with me, it's like sewing all the time. But it's really important to take time out for the things that you like to do. I'm curious, and let me know in the comments, how do you take time for yourself? So since you're watching Sewcial Sunday, I'm assuming sewing might be one of your answers, but maybe knitting or crochet are your other times that you take out for yourself. Let me know in the comments. I admit that in high school and grade school, I was always a huge reader. Like I could finish a book off in a day. As I had my kids, when they were babies and toddlers, the reading sort of fell to the side just because I wasn't sleeping a lot and I was so busy taking care of them. But the last couple years I found books again, and I just wanted to show you a couple of books that I'm reading lately. So I started this the other day. It's called Broken Girls. I like reading a lot of fiction, either historical fiction or murder mysteries. So this is one of the murder mysteries. Sometimes the anticipation of trying to figure out who done it is almost as good as what the ending will be. So I'm about a quarter of the way through with this book. I'm excited to get through it. These three are all books that I got recently from Book of the Month Club. I feel like the club helps me keep on track with reading, and you know, each box that I get every month is a reminder, okay Sarah, you need to take some time out and read some books. So another book that I got is by Jojo Moyes, Still Me. She had a movie come out with one of her books recently in the last year. I've read 3 or 4 of her books, so excited to get started on this one. And this one's probably the one that I've been anticipating the most. It's called An American Marriage, and it's sort of about husband and wife, what their marriage is like, and then the husband gets incarcerated unfairly, so how their relationship changes during the incarceration. So I'm really looking forward to reading this one especially. I guess it could be seen as sort of a romance, but not a bodice ripper type of romance, I guess. But anyway, looking forward to reading those books. Maybe my husband can post some comments of what some people are doing in their free time. I see a lot of knitters and crocheters, so always curious to know what you've been working on. And as a reminder, let me know in the comments if you have any questions at all about what I'm talking about tonight, or any kind of sewing related questions that you'd like me to answer. We always get to a few questions live during the chat, and we'll get to some of those later on. So in place of the book review this week, I wanted to show you some vintage sewing books that my grandmother gave me. I thought it would just be interesting to share them. So I'm going to go ahead and step over here and show you some of these books from my grandmother's house that she gave me. My grandmother takes really good care of everything that she has, and she gave me these Simplicity sewing books, and I was just amazed. They're really old books, but just the details. A lot of them are garment focused, but I just found the quality of the instructions and the illustrations to be really great. And the books have held up, and all of this information is still relevant today. This is a lot of information about making garments, adjusting pattern pieces, how to sew specific garments, like this is a jumper. There's some trousers later on. So let me show you, flip through a couple of the other books that my grandmother gave me. I'm really glad she held on to this stuff. My grandmother and my mom and my aunt, they all sew, and I'm just lucky that she has so many memories to pass on to me. Two of the books are sort of home decor related, so making curtains, how to, I actually need to make some curtains soon, so this will come in handy for that. But there's another book about upholstering furniture, which I've always had on my bucket list, how to upholster furniture, and this is a really short booklet right here, but I can imagine it'll be really helpful in upholstering a chair with my own fabric, which I've always wanted to do. And let me just flip through two other of the books. I'm really curious to know, have you ever come across old sewing books like this, maybe at a garage sale, or maybe you have a relative that has passed some down to you, like my grandmother has passed down to me? The funny thing about my grandma is no matter what I need when I go to her house, because we visit her every Sunday, and we've visited since my kids were born once a week, and no matter what I need, so I call her Amma. No matter what I need, she always has it. So if I'm like, Amma, you know what I need? Something to put, a container to put powdered sugar on cupcakes or something, and she'll have an extra one. Or, Amma, I need a yellow marker for a project that I'm working on, or a black crayon. She has everything in her house, and it's so neat and organized. Like those sewing books, as you can see, those were well-loved and well-saved books. So Amma has everything at her house. No matter what I need, she's got it. So if you're enjoying Sewcial Sunday, and if you'd like to share this video with your other sewing friends, if you're watching on Facebook, I invite you to hit the share button so you can share this video with your friends. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like the video. And I really enjoy coming to you live every Sunday on Facebook and YouTube, and I hope you're enjoying the videos as well. So let me throw my sewing machine up on the table. I wanted to show you a quick little tool for cleaning that I use for cleaning my sewing machine. So let me throw this big guy up here on the table. My sewing machine's all metal, so it's quite heavy, but I'm going to have my husband show you a side view because I'm going to show you how I use this pipe cleaner to clean my sewing machine. Alright, so I have a side loading bobbin. If you have a top loading bobbin, it would work in much the same manner, but these pipe cleaners are really inexpensive. You can find them at the dollar store or Target or wherever you're shopping, and you can either stick them in a single layer and it just kind of, the lint just sticks to it, or you can sort of wrap it like this. The nice thing about the pipe cleaner is it fits also underneath the bed of my sewing machine where the feed dogs are, and it just kind of sweeps all that lint out of there. But let me switch back to the front view. I took my sewing machine in for maintenance a year and a half ago, and when I took it in, I noticed that the stitches were, every 6 stitches I was getting like a slightly crooked stitch, and I think to the regular person they wouldn't have been able to notice that anything was wrong, but I just had like a gut feeling, so that's why I took it in. The lint had built up in the side of the sewing machine, so here's where the needle is. Because I was sewing so much, the lint was just collecting here, and because I wasn't cleaning it often enough, it was just sort of compacting and building up in this area of the sewing machine. So after that happened with me a year and a half ago, I was always careful to use my pipe cleaner to get that lint out. And of course, it's really important to keep regular maintenance with the oiling and the cleaning of the lint, but obviously I wasn't doing a good enough job because I had tons of lint all the way up here because it was getting pushed back from where I was sewing. But anyway, pipe cleaner's a really handy tool to use for cleaning out your sewing machine. Let me know in the comments if you have any quick tricks for sewing machine maintenance. Maybe you have something really cool that you do with your sewing machine that I haven't thought of yet. Let me know some comments. If we have some good ones, my husband will put some of those up on the screen, but always curious to see what other people are doing with sewing machine maintenance and keeping their sewing machines working in good order. So Lori says, do you ever clean it out with a vacuum attachment? I have not yet, but I've heard that that's a good idea, and I know when I take the machine in, I know that they're using a vacuum attachment for that. Juanita says, I use an oil painting fan brush. It grabs all the fuzz in the dirt. That's a great idea. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's a brush that's sort of like a half circle shape. Great idea, Juanita. Always good to keep the sewing machines in working order. Debbie says, how often do you use the pipe cleaners? Basically, when I think about it, maybe every week and a half to 2 weeks. Honestly, you can use it whenever you're changing a bobbin. If you're changing a bobbin for a project, that might be a several hours project or a day or two project. Just grab the pipe cleaner and clean it out, and you can use the same pipe cleaner over and over. The lint just kind of comes right off the pipe cleaner and you can throw it out. Excuse me. Kathy says, when making a lot of bags, I have trouble with the inside being too big and it looks messy and not smooth. Should I make any adjustments to the lining? That's a good question, Kathy. My quick answer to that is you can always adjust the lining at a tighter seam allowance than you sewed the exterior. So if you're sewing the exterior at a 1/2 inch seam allowance, you can start by sewing the lining at 5/8 or maybe even a little bit larger. So I would just sew the lining, say if you're going to sew it at 5/8, test it in the finished bag. If it still looks a little baggy, you can always take the seam, the lining in a little bit more, but sewing the lining at a larger seam allowance is my first step at getting the lining to fit a little bit more neatly inside the exterior. Regarding sewing machine maintenance, Tina says sometimes I use, oh, that went away already, sorry about that. Joan said I use a small cosmetic brush. Yeah, that's a good idea too. I could see having an extra or an old or dirty cosmetic brush that you just repurpose for sewing machine maintenance. Linda says I use a Q-tip. That's another good one as well. All right, let's see if any more of the sewing machine questions are coming through. Otherwise, any general sewing questions, feel free to ask them. Before we get to the giveaway and some more questions, I just wanted to announce that last week's giveaway winner was Sue Shapiro, and I've already been in contact with Sue, and she was very excited about the prize. Last week's prize was 2 books by Kay Fassett and a set of Tula Pink fat quarters. I'll get to the giveaway question for this week in just a second. Let me pull it out. Liz said, after watching your video about your Juki machine, I bought one and I just love it. Thank you, Sarah, for all the information regarding sewing machines. I'm so happy you love your machine. I love mine as well. Because I often go into other quilt shops, I'm always tempted looking at other sewing machines, but I know even though my sewing machine isn't the most expensive out there, I'm not willing to trade it in for another one, and we bought additional Juki machines for our sewing retreats as well. So definitely happy with the Jukis. They can handle a lot of layers of fabric and interfacing, so they're a true workhorse in my opinion. Melissa wanted to know, does your husband sew? He has sewn a few projects in the past, and actually I convinced him to start coming on my live shows. I wanted him to join me on my live shows every Tuesday. I wanted him actually on the show last week, but he said that we have to practice first. We actually practice all of our shows, even Social Sunday, before we go on the air, just to make sure we're free of mistakes or technology failing us. So I wrote him a note this morning that we need to practice for Tuesday so he can be on the live show with me. So I'm sure he's always criticizing my sewing, and now that he can see from the videos what my sewing looks like on a huge 40-inch screen, he's always telling me, you know, you said you were using an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance, but that looked like a 1/4, or I saw you draw that line for cutting the top of the fabric, but the line was a little crooked. So we're going to be talking about stuff like that on Tuesday, and he's going to be joining me on screen. But he made 1 or 2 quilts by himself, just basic patchwork quilts, and he backed them. I think they were backed with Minky. I can't remember. It was a while ago. But he has sewn a couple projects on my sewing machine. So yeah, hopefully I can get him to sew a bag one of these days. All right, but let me show you the giveaway for this week. And I have a bunch of items in my giveaway package. So part of the giveaway this week is a snap setter tool and a set of various colors of the snaps to go with the tool. The reason I wanted to give away that this week is that we're going to be getting soon to our video for the Oslo Craft Bag, and the Oslo Craft Bag has these snaps on the sides of the bag. So I wanted to share a set of snaps with one of my viewers so we can get you ready before the Oslo craft bag video comes out. We're shooting for after the 4-pack video bundle, so after February 28th, that's when we're hoping to get the video for the Oslo craft bag out. So the snap setter tool is part of the giveaway for tonight. 4 packages of the snaps, and we're also giving away 2 rolls of cork. So this is natural cork with rainbow splatter on it. This is metallic, and this is a print called Morocco, so it's sort of a pastel colored print that I adore. So the cork, the snap setter tool, and the snaps will be part of the giveaway. All you have to let me know to enter the giveaway is leave me a comment and let me know when you're sewing, do you watch TV or listen to music? So all you have to let me know is the answer to that question. If you're watching on Facebook, you can leave the comment right away. If you're watching on YouTube, please wait until after the live broadcast to leave your comment because YouTube does not save live comments. So just give me a couple minutes before you leave the comment till we go off being live. I'll draw one random winner at the end of the day this Saturday, February 24th. So one lucky winner out of all the answers on all the social media will win this prize package. And good luck. So just let me know in the comments, do you watch TV or listen to music while you're sewing? So thank you so much for joining me for Sewcial Sunday. I hope I'll see you again next Sunday at 7 p.m. Central Time, and happy sewing.